This is the Amp Hour Podcast, released October 8th, 2025. Episode 705. Psst. Hey buddy, you want to buy an octopus?
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
Contextual electronics. Still a thing?
Yeah, still a thing, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, excellent. Sydney is the hub of everything at the moment.
Oh, really? What kind of things?
Well, everything space related anyway. If you're not aware, the International Astronautical Congress.
Oh, I did see your post.
If I get the name. Because they call it a Congress? I don't know. What is a Congress?
My only real reference point to that is like the Chaos Communication Congress as well.
Oh, okay, right. That's a Congress too. Okay. It's like an old school word for conference. Anyway, it's a big-ass conference. Anyway, it's a week-long conference. It's the big space event of the year, and it's held in a different city every year, and this year it's Sydney. Yay, us.
Yeah, truly international, you're saying too, huh?
Oh yeah. Yes, every single country is there, had a stand, you know.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, the Polish Space Agency, you know, it's like...
might as well go to Sydney, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure everyone was devastated that they had to come to Sydney, you know. Yeah, oh gosh darn it.
Yeah. Sydney in, the springtime, beautiful weather, nice folks.
I assume that's a thing in the US. Like, Yanks would be excited if the company's sending me to Sydney. Sydney's like one of those, bucket list destinations for Yanks and Europeans, isn't it?
I think so.
Because it's just so far away and so,
Well, it's a beautiful city. It's, nice folks. And,
right.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. I think so. I've been. I've been on holiday there, Dave. You may recall.
Yep. Yes,
so,
I do recall.
I think so. I think the real thing is a lot of them just wouldn't send anyone. Yeah, especially unfortunately, I think a lot of space stuff in the U.S. has been quite defunded. My one of my friends just had to move out of NASA, so he's going private.
Oh, okay. Right.
Sucks.
Okay.
So what did you see at this IAC?
It's huge. I've got two walk-around videos. Okay. I've got one which is like a bird's eye view. So I stuck my GoPro-y thing up on a large pole and I just walked around like the entire floor. So that's like a 30-minute walk around of just that with some space music on top. And then I actually did a physical walk around. That's an hour-long video. I just released that this morning. It was like tons of stands. So what it basically was, if you were a big international company, you had your own stand. But if you were just like a little two-man company, they would have their own stand, but it's on your country's stand. So if you're from South Africa, if you're from Germany, if you're from Poland, then, like your country would rent a giant stand and then you'll have a little like sub booth inside that stand, for your little two-man company. So it was cool. So there was just hundreds of them.
It's always jarring to me, like when I go to stuff like remember that machining show I went to and this one as well, like these like huge conferences. Yeah, you go to those things and you're just like, oh yeah, there are so many other people that are doing technical work that's just so different than my own, but it's still like you could have just switched out a couple of the elements and it would have been a little bit, pretty much the same thing, right?
Yes.
Like the same trade show stands and similar stuff like it. So, yeah.
There were a couple of companies there that were familiar. It was like, okay, test instruments. Yes. RF test instruments, of course. Yes. Need those. Right. And there's a company selling space connectors and they're
space
all,
connectors.
No.
Is there anything different about space connectors? What
No, they're just regular connectors, except, I don't know, they sell them to space customers.
See, what we do is we take regular connectors and then we charge you 10 times as much because we have to take all the oxygen out.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, there were a surprising amount of Australian companies there. There was a huge Australia stand and then each state had their own stand. So, Victoria, New South Wales, Tasmania, they're all there. And so they all had their own stand and then all the companies from each of the states were there. They had their little mini booth inside the larger thing. And there were just so many companies working on all these niche space gear, It's just crazy.
Are there launches that are going up from Australia?
There was. Our first attempted launch got like 10 meters off the platform and then went sideways and then sort of returned to Earth pretty quickly. Anyway, I did a tour. The video's not up yet. I did a tour of this new mission control, like a regular mission control thing with, the flight and all the terminals, and everything else. They've built this into a B-double trailer van, completely mobile, so that they can drive it all around Australia. And then, so if you're launching anything, it doesn't have to be a rocket. It could be one of those sound-in probes, or it could be anything, right? So if you're launching something, of course, we don't have the big launch facilities like they do in the US and Europe and stuff like that. So it's better if we just build it into a big truck that you can just take it to the location, and then the company that's launching it installs their own servers in the racks, and it's basically a mobile platform that you can use as your mission control kind of thing. And then you just install your things in the rack, and then you can be up and running in like an hour or something.
Yeah.
It's just,
That's great.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I'll have a video tour of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And the mission control stuff is like computers and stuff like that, or is there other special?
It's basically computers. It's basically a semi-trailer with a whole bunch of screens going back to big server racks with redundant power systems and comm systems and everything like that. So it's basically a generic platform that any space agents, any space company or any other company can use as their control system if they don't want to spend the money on their own control system. They can just have a server, shove it in there, hook it up to all these 200 monitors, and then everyone's got their little headset and everyone can be monitoring their independent things, and so yeah, I thought that was a good idea. But yeah, no, I was just amazed at all the little, I mean, there were hundreds and hundreds of companies there, each doing their own little tiny niche thing,
I always wonder, like, with companies like that, like, what is the expected outcome? Are they actually getting business from it too?
Well, it's basically not just like, you're unlikely to get random walk-up business, I guess. It's about meeting people, It's about, so they had a whole section of the floor which was just these soundproof booths where you could go in and you could have your secret meeting about, oh yeah, we'll buy 12 of these rockets, please, kind of thing. So yeah, it's about the people, actually meeting, because everyone's in the one spot. So somebody you had been emailing or something for 6 months trying to get something done, you can actually meet in person. That's kind of how it works. So I'm sure you get some walk-up business, there was everyone like the stands. Oh, I need a space flight computer. Yes, there was one company that specialized, there's an Australian company that specialized in lube. Space Lube.
Space Lube.
Oh, that's got to be the title of this episode, Space Lube.
Maybe.
Yes, yeah. Come on. Don't let me down, Chris.
I'll write it down.
Space Lube. Don't let me down. I think it's an Australian company. They specialise in just lubricants for space satellites and gear and stuff, because you have actuators that move and stuff.
Yeah, if you have like any kind of like water element in it, it's going to like evaporate away, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to boil off and boom, gone. Yeah. Or it's going to freeze up and then your gear seizes up,
Yeah, everything's more expensive.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah. I'm sure this lubricant's very expensive. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it seemed like they just specialised in that. Great, I'm sure they own the market.
Well, speaking of specialized racks of equipment, I have a new quasi obsession with something that's very old.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Dave, I just learned about this really cool new thing. It's called DIN rail.
DIN rails.
Yeah, I know it's very old. I know it's like, everybody uses this in industrial spaces. Mostly it like came from like just the madness that was my desk. So many dev boards. I have to get them off my desk. I started just thinking about like how I could do it. Started looking around like, printables and similar like Thingiverse, different 3D printing sites. And somehow I came upon DIN rails. So one, I found an actual use case for 3D printers. Yeah, I've been, putting up DIN rails. Did you ever do that back in your testing days?
Well, yes, we do, but that was more for automation of production test gear and stuff like that, So if you needed, some automated test system, you'd have a little PLC that plugs into your DIN rail. Exactly. You'd have a power supply that plugs into your DIN rail. You'd have a comms thing that plugs into your DIN rail, etc.
Yeah, landing all your field wiring and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Aren't all of your things in your electrical switchboard DIN rail mounted?
No, they're not.
They are here. If you look at my new box, it's all DIN rail. So I got all DIN rail fuses and switches, and that's where it's more common.
No, I think that's a great plan, actually. And like, especially like the way that you guys have kind of those more, I mean, both are modular, right? The US system is a little different, but remember I talked about in the US, we have that because of the split phase, we have that weird like push type.
And
then the type of breakers here, they push onto the it's like a serpentine connector.
Yeah, you guys have your own system. But I think most other places in the world are a DIN rail system.
Yeah, you'll see that if Europe, I think, as well, is very similar. So
yes, I do believe it's the same over there. It just everything's DIN rail mount. So everything power related, anything comms and switching, and all sorts of things. So
yeah, and so for mine, it's smaller stuff. It's not high power. It's really just like literally, it's just to get it up off the desk, and then I have wire racks. My new setup is not to have like mounted shelves. Like I used to have mounted shelves on the wall.
Haven't you got like a big mobile trolley thing, like with like shelves and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. I have like wire racks, kind of like they have like in restaurants, or like you might have for storage. I like the kind of the rolling kind, like the black wire, the black epoxy type. And then so I found a size that fits on my desk, and so then that's also where my lights are underneath it, and then my test gears up above, and then storage. But now the front of that now is also DIN rail, so it's also storage and like kind of frontage of that thing. So it's like basically anything I can zip tie it to, I'm putting DIN rail onto. I liked, and I still do like the J. Carlson method of like the baker's trays.
Oh yeah,
I think we talked about that back when I got it.
Yes,
it's a little tucked away in my office, and I'm not actually using it like a project-based tray. Like the tray, if it was like one tray per project, I feel like that would be a better setup. Mine's more like everything from a certain class of boards kind of goes onto one tray. So each board's kind of a mess on its own. But if it was like actually project based, that would make a lot more sense.
Gotcha.
So instead now I'm kind of moving all that stuff off to racks. And like I said, it's a good use of 3D printing and stuff like that. Like I was able to print like a Raspberry Pi case and other mounting cases for different things. Yeah, kind of like a generic clip-on one. The only downside is like really small stuff doesn't go on there very well. So I have to like make custom stuff at that point. But
I just sent you a photo. I follow someone on X called Fish Pointer. Okay. Anyway, Fish Pointer. I just sent you a photo of their desk. But they've got all the test equipment up, and they've got, speaking of those tray kind of things, they've got this tray system. I don't know if you can see that photo. I can copy you the actual image.
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
They are constantly posting photos of their desk, and they have different projects they're working on. They've got these trays with.
Oh, you're talking about the left side.
Yes.
Oh, see, now that looks like Zach Friedman's. What do they call that? It's like the 42 by 42 millimeter box system.
Yeah, they've got like a big tray, sort of like on some sort of angled platform kind of thing, and then they've got little sub trays all in there, or with like little individual components that they, and then in the middle is a breadboard. And so they've posted a few photos like that, and I really like them.
Yeah, and that's like a very printable setup as well. It's like very modular, made to like make it interchangeable, despite me like distracting myself with printing. It's like, no, well, actually I just need to like every day at the end of the day, I need to go and like put the things away that I worked on, or in the case of like a tray, I need to be able to like move it off to the side. And you deal with this too, right? It's just
I've been trying to do it down in my dungeon. Like I've got a new desk set up, and I installed some lighting and stuff, and I installed some monitors. Like I found a dual monitor stand in the dumpster, one of those elevated monitor stand arm things. So I installed some monitors, and then I've got cabling all there, so that anytime I find something in the dumpster, I can just bring it over to this desk, which I managed to clear mostly. And then I've got everything there I need to plug in. So I've got all the cables, like I've got all the different types of, video cables and everything that I can plug in, and keyboards and computers, and it just, so I can get something up and running really fast. Whereas I've always got to scramble around for something like that. I find a dumpster computer. Oh, okay, I got to get it on the bench. Oh, well, I need a power cable. Oh, I need a video cable. Oh, where's a monitor? Oh, I need to find a monitor. Oh, where's a spare keyboard and mouse? Where's and it's like, oh God. Yeah, and just spend so much time dicking around.
I feel like it's kind of like deciding whether to like tie pieces of equipment to a project or to make them float. But then the float problem is like what you just said, where if you do float, it's like you're kind of always breaking stuff down in order to build the next thing.
It helps that if you're working on the same thing all the time, or the same similar sorts of things all the time. But if you're working on totally different stuff, then, well, how do you even set up a lab to do totally random stuff?
Yeah, right.
It's like, it's kind of hard. Especially if you're in our kind of thing and you're like filming stuff and you need to film stuff and there's an extra level of complexity on top of that. Just being able to document and film stuff. So
Adam Savage has a bunch of stuff on his workshop and he's in like this extremely constrained environment. Even though he has an amazing system, like the most amazing thing to me is that he keeps that system, right? It's like that he's following it. Laura Kampf's another one who like Laura has all these systems about like just like sorting out parts and like storing stuff. And, you know, she has a bunch of junk all over the place too. But like even just having and following those systems, it's just like, that's the most impressive thing to me.
Sticking to it is hard. Yeah. Yeah. The old, you know, once you go in there and you're just so proud of yourself, you just cleared the entire workbench and then, you know, a week later it's like,
bring it back out.
Hellhole again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The person you sent me photos of, what are they building?
I believe it's all sort of like RFE kind of serial comms, hackery, decodery type stuff. I don't know, something like that.
Oh, I think this is Gridfinity. You seen that video you sent me? So Dave sent me a video as well where they're switching out the like some cases for the power supply. Look at the thing underneath it. See those 3 boxes? Those look suspiciously like 42 by 42 millimeter boxes. So I think this is Gridfinity, and then he's printing the.
Oh, okay, right. Yes, there's a grid under it that sort of holds him in place.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually a commercial thing. It's not something that they've just.
No, not commercial. It's just like an ad hoc standard that like.
Oh, okay.
3D printing community came up. Maybe Zach. I don't know. Zach talks about it a lot. He's my main reference point for it. He's Voidstar Labs. If people don't know who I'm saying, Zach Friedman, but Voidstar Labs talks about this a lot. He's into 3D printing and these kind of things. And yeah, it's Gridfinity, Shitfinity, like there's Gamefinity. There's like all of these, you know, plays on words. But remember those kits when we went on a hackerspace tour? Robots and Dinosaurs. The person there was showing us like a Adam Savage-esque kind of sorting system that's like the slide out tray. Kind of looks like a tackle box. There's like a handle that's like plastic molded into the plastic, and then there's a case that flips up, and then there's usually like modular cups that fit into there, usually squares, and then you could fit different size parts in there, but then the whole thing closes and it seals it so that if the whole thing turns over, you know, screw from cup 1 doesn't go over into cup 4. They're very expensive, but yeah.
I'm just looking at these where they've got these 3D printed plier holders, like side cutter holders. Oh my God. Now I need this in my life. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but once I'll never keep it like that. Like, I don't think I have the discipline to.
And you have to keep printing, you know, like.
Yeah. I think you've got to be a certain kind.
It's probably a good experiment to try it. You know, it's pretty low effort, you know, low cost. Yeah.
Low effort. Yeah. Well, I've got my big 3D printer, which I can print anything up to 350 millimeters by 3, or is it 400 by 400 or something? Yeah. So I can print like fairly large things.
Yeah. You know, I have on my desk, the bench that I have like the pull out drawers. These are like the Husky style desks. I think I've shown you photos of before. They've got like two tool style trays. That would be good for it because it's about the right height. You could get it, you know, gridded in there, but I don't think I should do this. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't need another project. I've got Din. Din fills me up for now. You know, I'm cool.
Right. Okay. Well, I think I might turn on my 3D printer today.
Okay.
Yeah, I might, because I haven't found I assume that there's a link to all the 3D models and stuff I can just download and just print.
I mean, I think there's like a tag on printable. I don't know what you're using these days for marketplaces, but like printables is the one that I use.
Well, whatever shows up on the search, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you could just search Gridfinity printables, I'm sure, or Gridfinity 3D print, and I'm sure you're going to find a ton. So,
yeah. So that is the name everyone's using, is it?
I think so.
Gridfinity generator. Oh my God, there's a website. You can actually design them. You can design a base plate. Oh God.
I've just found a Gridfinity for Dummies YouTube video. Maybe I can send you that one.
Oh God. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm probably going to have to do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to be printing some stuff. Yeah. Well, that's a great thing. Now that I've got a 3D printer that just works, you know, I can just literally turn it on.
Which one do you have?
I've got the Creality K1, which is, they sent it to me. It's like a big thing. They offered to send me, they just got an email the other day. They offered to send me another one, which is has like the 5 different colors at once, you know?
You know, Dave, you could print even more Gridfinity with that.
I know. But the problem with that is that, okay, you've got 5 different colors. That's great. But unless you're using those every day, you have to take out the reels you've got to put them in a sealed bag with a moisture, absorbing thing so that they don't go brittle.
Actually, I just got a filament dryer for all of $42, and it does two reels at a time. Rolls? Two spools.
Right. So after you dry them out, you shove them in a bag?
No, you just use them often enough that you run out of filament and you buy new ones, I guess. I don't know. This happened because I was using 3-year-old filament. I kept breaking in the printer. I'm like, I need to fix this.
Yeah, exactly. I've done the same thing. So you need to. I've been 3D printing a lot of stuff lately for the kids, and I was going through like a few reels. Yeah, I was actually churning those out in bulk. This damn thing was running 24/7.
Making your kids into trinket dealers, huh?
Yes, yeah, trinket dealers. Psst, buddy, flexible octopus. Anyway, they're fantastic. Yeah, they just work now, So, all I can do, it's downstairs in the dungeon, but if I literally turn it on, it's hooked up to my network. So I literally turn it on. I come up here and I can control it and download stuff from my desktop here, and it just prints. It just magically prints.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's really nice to be in that era of tooling and stuff like that. Thank you to all the tinkerers that made it work.
Yes, they can. Thank you to the MakerBots of the world. I've still got 2 MakerBots that I built, and yeah, they were just so finicky to use. You just didn't want to use it. It was like the dread and like the thought of just having to 3D print something and then battle this 3D printer to get it to consistently print was just sheer dread.
Speaking of dread, your children should have pure dread thinking about when you finally go around the bend and they have to clear out your workspace.
Yeah, exactly.
Just back up the dump truck.
Yep.
Hire the strapping young lads and just throw all that shit out.
Yes. I kind of need an exit plan, don't I? I kind of need
You do. You know what you need is a couple of suckers who also like collecting stuff. And then you can just slowly dribble it out. Oh, I have another piece you might be interested in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the antiques industry in a nutshell.
Yes. Do you remember all those tins I got? All those 330 tins of all the different tins of all the screws and everything. And I don't know if you saw the video on that, but I actually decided I've got 330 of these tins on my shelf down in my dungeon, and I decided to finally attempt to sort them. So I did a live stream video, that was a couple of hours long, just going opening these tins and just sorting them and going, nope, I'm never using 300 PCB spacers from
that level. I thought it was going to be like M3 screw, like hex nuts and stuff like that,
No. I was doing the more obscure things support mounts, feet, I don't need 2,000 different types of rubber feet, custom rubber feet for products, And these are all used, right? These are all used, salvaged from harvested from 1970s, 1980s vintage test gear and stuff.
Just think about how much lead you were touching that day and Freon and
I know. It's yeah. Oh yeah, all the good stuff, all the stuff that puts hair in your chest,
and then it immediately falls off. It's so great.
yeah. So I poured them all out into this bucket, and then I got contacted by somebody in the US who's into retro vintage tech repair and stuff like that, and said, "Hey, I'll take that entire." Unsorted, because it's now unsorted because I've poured them into thing, and I'll buy that, I'll actually take those off your hands, just I'll pay shipping or whatever. And unfortunately I did email him a quote, and he said he'd be happy to pay the shipping and everything, but I haven't heard back yet, so I don't know if anyone wants my random assorted box of, and that's only one box. I only went through 50 tins. I've got 330 of them. Yeah. So anyway, if anyone wants a box of a 5 kilo, I think it's about 5 or 6 kilo box of just random assorted feet and spacers and bushings and grommets and stuff like that from ancient test gear, I'm your man. I'm probably the only source on the planet. So they're all yours.
It is interesting. So much military stuff in the US, at least, is these mom and pop assembly shops. They've been making a lot of the same stuff, for better or worse, right? It's been their livelihood.
Yeah.
And they're all retiring, and they're, their kids went off to other places or in software or whatever. There's just no backfill. I think I think private equity is probably going to come in and like buy it up and maybe manage it, whatever. But like, it's a issue waiting to happen.
Oh yeah, they've had this problem, and especially when they're trying to onshore everything again, like all their latest fighter jets and stuff, they would outsource stuff, and now they're trying to bring it back, and they're going, well, there was only one company that made this stuff, and now they're out of business because you didn't keep them in business, and like, how do you get it back?
Yeah, and like a lot of it is like the margins are also like they're like these unrealistic margins. So it's not like they can go and get you know like a commercial gig down the street. You know, someone's doing injection molding for like a kid's toy in like the injection molder for the military electronic. Like just the scale is completely off, and so it just doesn't support other types of business. So it's very dependent on contracts and things like it.
Who's that new US? He's founded by this like total like nerd kind of guy, but now they're one of the biggest defense contractors. What's that?
Palmer Luckey, and that is
Palmer Luckey. That's it.
Anduril. Yeah, that's
Anduril. That's the company.
It's the name of the sword that the king uses in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I saw some sort of like doco on his company or something, and it was about how they know this problem where, like, you know, there's these mum and pop stores who manufacture this stuff, so they're trying to like use as much off the shelf stuff as humanly possible in their latest things, and that's how they can spin them fast and get things out there and things like that.
Many thought pieces about like Silicon Valley kind of arriving to military electronics. I mean, if I'll be completely honest, it makes me a little uneasy, like mostly because it's like they're doing a lot of like drone projects first and foremost. And I read a lot of, science fiction where similar plot lines exist. So it makes me very uneasy. Also, drones make me uneasy generally. I think they're scary. The sounds put me off. But it is kind of like modern warfare stuff. So it's and there's a lot of jobs in that space right now too. There's just a lot of funding going towards it. I mean, US passed some funding bills for military stuff, so that's like everything's juiced right now too. If people want to blow stuff up and they're young and technology focused, they could go do that.
Well, that's the same for the space at the moment. Like, you know how that. Well, there's money going down in the US for space, but there's no shortage of actual private money. So it's like, you know, I'm having dinner with a friend on Thursday night, and he's got a new space startup, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. Let's just say that. but there's no shortage of money for it.
I think they see, the investors see like the dollar signs in their eyes, especially for big stuff like, it's not quite winner take all, but there's only so much space out there in space.
Oh, no, yeah. No, space is huge at the moment. Space is just like, it's everywhere. This is why there's 20 new space channels on freaking YouTube trying to cover everything, and they can't even cover everything. Space is just so hot. Whereas a decade ago, 15 years, space was dead.
Yeah, because you had to go through the big iron. You had to go through Boeing.
Yeah, you had to go through the big iron. Exactly. You had to go through the Lockheed Martins and the rest of them. And now it's like, no, I can literally go on a web page right now and book a slot on the next SpaceX flight. I can put it in my shopping cart, put down my $5,000 deposit, and I'm on a bloody SpaceX flight. Yeah,
I was talking to to some friends over the weekend about the Mark Rober, like the selfie from space thing, and just like, I mean, it's a very fun project, and just like, but like you said, like just the fact that you can do that. They build a piece of electronics and it works and it's great. But the lift part was something they just bought.
Well, I did an interview. I'll probably edit that today, which will go up on my second channel. I was talking to an Australian space company called Fleet, and they had on the stand there, it was a giant 1-to-1 replica of the Firefly moon lander, right? And the reason that they had that, it was very cool. And the reason that they had that is because this Australian company is making one of the scientific payloads. It's a seismometer that'll drop onto the surface, right? So I was talking to them about it, and I asked the question, how do you go about getting a spot on the next Firefly lander? Whose ass did you have to kiss to get, a spot, to get your payload on that moon lander? And he went, they were begging for people to put payloads on. They were like, it's actually opposite to what you think. They need people to pay in. So if you've got a small company, you've got some funding, you can easily get a slot on a moon lander somewhere. People are begging you to put payloads, pay in payloads onto their moon lander. to make it all,
make it go. Yeah.
Actually, money makes it go. So it comes from, so you've got 20 different payloads on there, and that's coming from seed funding from 20 different small companies, and then that helps pay for the seed funding for the lander. So it's like turtles all the way down.
Kickstarter to rocket fuel, huh?
Yeah, turtles all the way down.
Yeah, that's wild.
Lunar turtles. Oh my God, yeah. I was taken aback by that they didn't have to beg to get on there. They were begging them to put the payload on there. That's just amazing.
What is interesting too, because so when my friend Todd was on the show a couple episodes ago, he was talking about kind of like what the businesses are in space. It's like sensors are kind of like the big one for like small sats and things. Like it's like you're going to sense something, you're going to take photos of something.
Actually making money from this gig is a different matter, but there's lots of money flowing in. I'm not sure there's lots of money coming out of it, but
I think there are actual businesses, like Planet Labs, right? We had, when Sean Meehan was on the show a long time ago, like talking about Planet, like they make money by selling photos of the Earth.
Yeah, they're mapping. Yeah. I had a look at one stand, and they've got an array of satellites that's about to go up that'll do SAR imagery down to 0.3 meters of the entire Earth, or 0.15 meters. You can, SAR imagery of the entire planet, Yeah,
and that has like a marketplace, right? People want that. That's going to be useful. But like seismology on the moon. What do I do with it? I guess I could make an app. I don't know.
Yeah, so I can see how it's, if you're providing SAR imagery or satellite imagery or, any other type of, you're detecting minerals in the ground or something somehow, using some whiz-bang tech.
I'm just going to throw it out there for like a fifth time. Delta V, the Daniel Suarez book, great book. You should read this one. It's about space mining, and then there's follow-ups on the moon, so...
Well, I've already publicly said space mining will not be a thing. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be economically feasible to get minerals back to the Earth. It'll be a thing if you're mining on the moon for the resources to be used on the moon. That's fine. But you aren't going to go and mine an asteroid for gold and bring it back here and suddenly become a trillionaire. Not going to happen.
Well, they talk about that in the book. I definitely agree with like bringing it back down the gravity well. Like that does make sense because that would be ridiculous. But I do think building stuff in space, I think that's the real money.
Oh, yeah, that's where potential, we might be 50, 100 years out from that. But, yeah, that will happen, yes, of course.
Sending material up is very expensive, so...
Well, and actually, people don't realize the cost of getting it back down. Like, the cost of getting a one ton of gold back to the ground is insane, right? Like, actually mining it, getting it up there, mining it, and bringing it back through the atmosphere and landing it is like, it's just mad.
Well, I'm not going to do it. Something I was going to bring up earlier when you were talking about the grommets and the old electronics is I don't know if you saw the news item, but the Commodore Corporation recently changed hands.
Yes, they're back. I think you can order one, can't you? You can order a new C64, and it looks and feels like a real C64, right?
Yeah. Yes, that I believe so.
Yeah, they bought a consortium of just enthusiasts. I think just bought all the rights back from, I don't know who owned it. I've got no idea of the history of that. But yeah, they bought the rights back and they've released a new Commodore 64, I guess.
I didn't see anything about the releasing a new one, but definitely I know they bought it. I was watching all the videos and stuff like that.
No, I'm pretty sure they had a Kickstarter or some other FundMe. Anyway, I don't really have an affinity for the Commodore 64 because I never had one and I never knew anyone who had one. So I never, apart from using one at the local, computer shop, wasn't a thing for me.
Same. I didn't even get to see it I saw it at like maker fairs and stuff like that. That was my exposure much later. So
okay.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Yeah, I think it is going to definitely target a lot of nostalgia and probably educational market as well. That sort of thing. So. All
right, here we go. Here's a video, retro recipes video, the new Commodore 64 Ultimate. Yep, I'm just playing it now. The world's first transparent keyboard circuit board to let the text speak for itself. 1982 plus 2025 creator autographs etched forever into the main copper. There you go. So they got the original designers to sign it. It's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they had a bunch of people involved.
Oh, right. Okay.
Some past guests of the show, of course.
Yes.
Jerry was listed. Bill Hurd was listed. Jerry Ellsworth was listed. They didn't mention Chuck. I don't think was this a 6502?
No, it's a 6510. It's a 6510. So it's not the 65. Okay. I thought it wasn't the 6502. It's the 6510. Running at 1.023 megahertz for the NTSC. The PAL even ran slower at 985 kilohertz was the PAL version. So if you bought one in Australia...
You're losing out, yeah.
Modified from the 6502.
It's interesting, I like the idea of this and like how you can, really dig into a lot of the stuff, but like we're so far outstripping this with like some of the chips that are out there, like outstrip it so much, so it's like, it's truly just good feels, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. Totally.
I'm sure people really like the keyboard, though, too. I recently joined the ranks of people that can't stop talking about keyboards, Dave. My coworker, Mike, is very into them, and he wore me down and wore me down and wore me down. And then he did the most important thing. You know what the most important thing is, Dave?
What is
Sending a AliExpress link to get one for only like $68, like shipped.
Oh,
and
okay.
Like, then it's like, okay,
okay.
I'll try it for $68. And it's been
okay. Send me the one you've got.
At first I was like, oh, this is going to be like a kit. And then I was like, oh, but there's a finished goods one for like $68. I'll go do that one. I don't want to deal with 3D printing, whatever. It shows up. It's in a 3D printed body. It's a split keyboard. So it's a Corne CORNE V4 tied together with like a 3.5 millimeter jack. That's how the two boards talk to each other.
Oh God. I see it.
Let me send you a link. It's great though. It's the thing that I really like about it. It's learning some more keystrokes and stuff like that to make it a little.
Oh God, no! I hate that.
Yeah, it has fewer keys, so I didn't think you'd like that.
Oh God, no! What? No. And it's got a cable between this two split halves. This is like, no. This is one of these, ergonomic,
That's right. Yeah.
Keyboards from the 19. That were all the rage in the 80s. No.
Okay, well, you don't have to do it. I don't know if you know that.
Okay.
But I'm just talking. This is a podcast. So we do talk about things that we've done.
I'm surprised that you relented on that and didn't go, "What the fuck is this?"
I am a little surprised at myself. Actually, I think it really is just the like, it's $68. I think that's what it really was, and I thought I'd try it out. I am typing a little faster. I like that. It's less kind of like hunting around on a bigger keyboard. I kind of spilled coffee all over this one. So I did have to switch back to my other keyboard for half a day. It was very different than I remembered it. I'm just thinking about it now. So that's the big thing. But it's the thing I really like about it is actually not related to the hardware at all. It's actually, there's a web serial based app where you can reconfigure it.
Oh, okay.
So you plug in the keyboard and
it
just pops up. It's RP2040 on board. And that is just an interaction with hardware. If I could do that for a lot of I gotta dig into the code because that was just such a pleasant, the UI is in the browser. It's got a visualization of the keyboard itself, and you just reconfigure it like that. It's literally pull down menus and clicking and whatever. And it's just and then
is it rechargeable battery?
This one's wired, so there are rechargeable ones.
Oh, wired. Okay,
yeah.
Right.
There's rechargeable Bluetooth ones that'll last for a week.
I'm totally out.
Okay.
No,
well, don't worry about it.
I want my keyboard to last for a year. If my keyboard lasts for a week, I am out.
We could plug it in for 20 minutes. I don't know.
Nope. I'm out.
I have no dog in this fight because I bought it on a whim. But here, let me send you the link.
Oh God, there's an RGB version.
Yeah, they all have lights underneath them, the ground lighting and stuff like that.
Oh God, okay.
So I'm joining the ranks of CrossFitters and vegans and similar. How do you know you're talking to a vegan or a CrossFitter? It's they're going to tell you, right? Same with a keyboard person.
And how do you spot someone who's got a big home battery? You don't have to. They'll tell you.
Yeah, right.
They've got a big home battery. Yeah. I laid a slab.
Oh, you did?
Weekend.
Oh, wow.
Laid a concrete slab because the wife said, because we've just got new paving outside where we just got the paving re-leveled because we had a giant tank. We had a giant water tank that had been there for 20 years. And that just sunk in all the paving and everything. And so we had all the paving relayed, but it was on a slope so that the water would drain off. And you can't exactly put these giant 8 foot tall racks on a sloping surface because they would lean away from the wall and that would just freak me out forever. And of course they're going to weigh a lot because I'm getting these new batteries installed, 2 giant outdoor racks which will weigh probably 450 kilos each or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy, right? Beefy outdoor racks, beefy batteries. This is a lot of battery pack, 75 kilowatt hours of battery.
Holy moly.
Right.
Yeah.
And yes. So there's nearly 800 kilos, 800, 900 kilos or something of batteries that we're going to install outside. And she said, no, pavers, I don't want a bodge job. Do it properly. So I had to take up the pavers on the weekend, and I made a frame, and I poured my own concrete.
Oh, wow.
Poured my own completely reinforced concrete slab. Nice. I think it's rated for about 1,500 kilos, something like that, this concrete slab. So
nice. Did you get one of those really cool zip tie tools for rebar?
No, I got a mesh. I got a pre-welded mesh. So yeah, I got a large one, and then I just used some bolt cutters to trim that down to size. Yeah,
got it. Okay.
For the rebar. No, I didn't want to have to tie it all and all that sort of crap.
Yeah.
No.
I just watched Colin Furze do that with his garage, and
okay,
I'm like, oh, that's a cool tool. Like how it just like a power tool that wraps around the rebar.
It's just pornographic, special purpose tool. Yeah, that's great.
So when are the batteries coming in?
I don't have a final date yet. I've already paid for them, but I don't have an install date yet because everyone's backlogged at the moment, so it's hard to.
Of course,
because the government's giving out free money. So the batteries were basically free. They were literally free, quote marks. My kids will pay for it. So, thanks, kids. In the future, with their tax dollars, will pay for it. But, the batteries were completely free. So I'm only paying for the racks plus the install and stuff. So
hear me out. Like you are potentially, reducing carbon emissions. So like that could have positive benefits,
Don't care.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying there are future externalities. No, they're not captured in the current models.
Current models are bullshit. All models are bullshit, by the way. Blanket rule. All models are bullshit. All models to do with anything ever for the history of humanity are bullshit.
I think the space people might take issue with that, but you know what, Dave? You are welcome to your opinion.
I will qualify that. Any model of a complex system is bullshit.
Okay, on Tuesdays, when the moon has vibrations as measurable by devices that have landed on them, then models are BS. Yeah.
Then the models will be correct, yes. Anyway, no, I just want the warm fuzzy powering my entire house from batteries, and solar. So, and I don't like to participate. Like, I would actually prefer if the government not use my tax dollars to subsidise all these batteries. I'd actually prefer if they don't do that. But if they're going to do it, and they are, then I might as well personally take advantage of it. So otherwise, it's not like, they're going to say, if I don't do it, they're going to save the money. No, it doesn't work like that. They're going to max the scheme out and, So I might as well get advantage of it.
Free power, man.
Yeah, free power. Yep. Anyway, it's cool. Yeah. So, Peter, who's a former guest of the show, who actually designed the batteries that I'm using, he suggested that I actually power my entire house from the new inverter, and I actually have like an off-grid switch, and I actually, but no, I think that's a bad move, because I'm getting a new inverter, which is 8 kilowatts. So that's, sometimes we draw more than that. So that's going to be a problem, especially if we're charging the EV. And then he said, but you can connect your EV to the grid. And it's like, then I've got multiple complex things that are connected to the grid and aren't connected to the grid. And it's just a mess. So I will have a big changeover switch. So if the grid fails, technically, I should be able to do the big clunking changeover knife switch, or it's a round switch.
It's not going to be a knife switch.
No.
It's going to be a very safe,
a knife switch. Damn it!
Very safe switch.
No, I want a knife switch. Yes. So anyway, a changeover switch. So in theory, I should be able to run my house from the inverter if the power fails, but our power never fails. So
those buried lines. You got to be like, you know what? Hey, power company, do it like the US. Put them up on poles near the trees.
Right. Anyway, so I don't know when that's being installed, but I'll keep you updated. So anyway, I've got a nice new concrete slab I'm proud of. The concrete slab's not going to be the problem. The concrete slab isn't going to break. It'll be the foundations that it's laid on, will sink.
Maybe maybe this though, Dave. What if your concrete pouring skills do fail you, and then the whole thing sinks into the ground, but then you could put like a tub over it, like a little plastic
right.
tarp. And then you put some water in there, and then the heat from the batteries, boom, hot tub.
Well, I've already got the pool, and I'll have so much energy, I'll be able to turn the pool into a hot tub. I'll have so much excess energy, you see.
Okay, so, there you go.
Yeah. I can send you a photo of my concrete slab. Would you like to see my concrete slab?
I would like to see it, yeah.
Here we go. I'm going to post it to you right now. There is It's
this is a manly thing to do to build a concrete slab.
Grunt. Right. So there's my concrete slab. After it was just poured, so I haven't finished it properly or whatever. It's still, yeah.
And how much is that supposed to support?
That'll restore 55 megapascals, which for that size and thickness block is at least 1.5 tons. But of course, I can't guarantee the base. The base is a compacted road base, and I think there's already a sub concrete slab under that further down as well. So it should be pretty good. So yeah, we'll see. So I think it's concrete slab on top of road base on top of concrete slab on top of compacted soil. Anyway, it's right on the side of the house, which is right next to the retaining wall, which has a bit of a lean on it because the pressure of the house is kind of, over the last 20 years or whatever, is kind of, the wall's a bit leany because our block is up sloping, so the house had to be sort of leveled on one side and there's a retaining wall. So
I know so very little about construction and walls.
Same here. I got no idea.
But I believe you.
Anyway, yeah. I've got a concrete slab. These 2 giant racks. I can support up to 20 batteries, but I'm only going to have 15. I'm cutting back.
Well, I can't wait to hear about them getting installed. We should probably talk about those next time, though.
Yes, we should.
All right. Great. Well, good show.
Called Space Lube, right? Space Lube.
Space Lube. Maybe.
Space Lube. Come on. You can do it.
Maybe. See ya.
Catch you next time.